To grasp where the idea that we lack free will comes from, we must first understand behavior and its evolution. Why do we behave the way we do? When discussing Darwinian selection, we mainly refer to the selection of morphological traits, like the beak of a bird. Different beak shapes benefit birds in specific environments. For a trait to persist, it must exhibit variation, differential interaction, and replication. This applies to both physical characteristics and behaviors. At the phylogenetic level, the selection of morphological traits is evident, but we also select behaviors. Innate behaviors, such as reflexes, are chosen because they favor survival. An innate response, like sneezing or closing your eyes when something blows in your face, is beyond our control and was selected because it increased our ancestors' fitness. Next, we have the ontogenetic level, where selection happens based on behaviors learned during an individual's life. These behaviors follow the same principles of variation, differential interaction, and replication. A reinforced behavior tends to be repeated, while a punished behavior tends to be avoided. Learning to walk, for instance, involves numerous trials and errors until the most efficient method is found. Finally, we have the cultural level, where culture shapes our behavior. Cultural practices that solve social problems tend to be perpetuated through language. Each of these selection levels is influenced by the individual's environment and life history. These levels interact with one another. A behavior you perform today is influenced by your species' history, your life experiences, and the cultural environment you live in. This leads to the conclusion that our behavior is a response to environmental and historical stimuli, not a free and conscious choice. The idea of free will suggests there is a self inside the brain controlling everything. But in reality, our brain responds to environmental stimuli based on neural circuits selected over time. Every action results from a complex interaction of genetic, environmental, and cultural factors. Thus, when we talk about behavior, we're discussing a series of responses shaped by natural, ontogenetic, and cultural selection. There isn't a tiny person inside our brain making all the decisions. What we call decisions are actually responses to stimuli shaped over time. For example, when we learned to walk as babies, we tried to stand up and, upon falling, learned that rising too quickly wasn't effective. We tried again, slower this time, and upon successfully standing, learned that this was the correct method. This trial and error process is shaped by reinforcements and punishments from the environment. Culturally, our actions are shaped by the norms and values of the society we live in. Cultural norms teach us not to steal or kill, and these values are passed down through generations. These selection levels interact with each other. A behavior is influenced by our evolutionary history, life experiences, and the cultural environment we inhabit. Therefore, behavior is a response to external stimuli, not a free choice. Neuroscience shows that we don't have a homunculus inside our brain controlling our actions. The brain responds to environmental stimuli through complex neural networks. When we make a decision, like grabbing a glass of water, that action results from a series of neural processes shaped over time by our experiences and evolution. Looking at innate behaviors, such as sneezing or withdrawing a hand from a hot object, we see that these actions are automatic and not controlled by conscious will. They were selected because they increased our ancestors' fitness. The same applies to learned behaviors. When we learn something new, like riding a bicycle, we go through a trial and error process where reinforcements and punishments shape our behavior. In the end, we are not consciously deciding, we are responding to environmental stimuli. Therefore, the concept of free will is questionable. Our actions result from a complex interaction of genetic, environmental, and cultural factors. The idea that we have total control over our actions does not hold up in light of neuroscience and evolution. I hope this explanation helps you understand why the idea of free will is questionable. If you want to explore further, I recommend reading Who's in Charge by Michael Gazzaniga. He argues that even without free will, we need to live as if we have it because it's a practical way to deal with the complexity of human behavior. In conclusion, our understanding of free will is challenged by insights from neuroscience, evolution, and cultural influences. Our actions, far from being entirely our own, are shaped by a complex interplay of genetic, environmental, and cultural factors. While we may feel in control, the reality is that our decisions are deeply rooted in stimuli and responses honed over millennia. This doesn't diminish the importance of our experiences or our sense of self, but it does provide a profound perspective on human behavior. As we navigate our lives, it's valuable to recognize the factors that shape us. Embracing this understanding can lead to greater empathy and a more nuanced view of human actions. Whether or not we have true free will, acknowledging the intricate web of influences that guide us can enrich our approach to life and our interactions with others. So, as we ponder the nature of our choices, let's remember that we are products of a vast, interconnected history, one that continues to evolve and shape us each day. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this exploration into the nature of free will, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning.